Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Nigeria FM, where we amplify Africa voices in technology and innovation. I'm your host today, Babatunde Sanju, and today we'll be exploring a timely topic, which is AI and trust. How we are defining how Africans connect to services. And today I have a wonderful person that I've been following all our work on LinkedIn for some time now. The name of the person is Ebunluwa Arimoro. I don't know if I got that correctly. He's a software engineer
Yeah,
and he has been using AI for some times now, using it to build intelligent systems and the likes. Ebunluwa, it's great to have you on the show today. How are you doing today?
hi. It's really nice to be here, and it's great to be here today. How are you doing as well?
I'm fine, thank you so much. Let's dive into it. Can you just tell us a bit about yourself, your background, uh, how your journey into AI began?
All right. Thank you so much for that warm introduction. I'm Eboluwa Arimoro, a software engineer and UX specialist, and also right now I'm co-founding. Thank you. So at the moment, I'm co-founding JobaPay AI, where we use artificial intelligence to connect families with skilled service providers across Nigeria. So I started out in front end development, focused on how people interact with products, what makes something intuitive, what keeps things simple. And the more I built, the more I realized that design alone can't fix broken systems. You can have a beautiful interface and it's just sitting on chaos, right? So that curiosity led me into AI because it allows you to solve problems at the system level, not just the screen level, not just the level that
Yeah.
the users are interacting with that product. So I wanted to build product that could learn, predict, and also adapt to situation and context. So something that just basically makes everyday life easier, right? And feel less manual, something that automates things easily. So that's what we are doing with Java Pay AI right now. We are taking every problems like finding reliable help and reimagining how easy it could become with the right data, logic, and empathy.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I've followed JobaPay AI for some time now, but the website is it's not really live yet, so I didn't actually have full context of the entire application. But I just saw some information on the website here and there regarding what you guys are actually working on. It's actually a good one. Um, okay. Um,
Thank you.
so regarding AI and technology, right? I basically want to know your perspective in the context of Africa. What do you think? Because things are moving fast, and if not only developer, if people are not careful, there are a lot of jobs that AI will actually replace. Uh, but considering the fact that Africa as a whole, we don't actually uh, we don't follow the trend, right? So, what can you say regarding the AI in the African perspective?
So when you're talking about us not following the trend, do you mean in terms of technology, or
Yeah, in terms
I'm
of
not really sure
technology.
what
Yes,
aspect you're
in
asking.
yeah, in terms of technology, that's basically what I'm asking.
Okay. So one thing is I feel like people follow what they trust, right? If they trust something, if
Yeah.
they trust the solution, obviously they'll follow. So in cases like in practical cases, you see Chowdeck, especially what they are doing with the food sector in Nigeria. A few years ago, you can't imagine that you can have such large network of bike riders and they can use technology to deliver products and all. But this shows that Africans, they are willing to adopt, right? Africans are willing to pick up new solutions that actually solves their problem. Childek was able to find a very effective way to, solve the problem in a way that is just easy for everybody. And you could see like everybody, at least in the southwest where I am today, southwestern part of Nigeria, people are very, very welcoming of this technology. So trust matters everywhere. And in Africa, it might look a bit different because here technology has to prove that they can solve the problem and they can solve the problem fast. It's very important to understand exactly the kind of environment people are in this place. Like local context matters a lot. So when a technology, especially like something as complex as AI, steps in and promises to automate or mediate services in different sectors, let's say even like maybe finance, um, wealth management, health, or even hiring a technician, which we are working on, it must earn that trust for it to be, largely adopted by the people in that locality or location. So if we fail to build trustworthy AI, we risk two things. Like you obviously said, we risk running low adoption, right? Many people will not want to try the technology. So what that means is that the technology's benefits remains minimal. Just a few people here that like know about certain things. Even we have some of that happening our in Nigeria today. So another thing we risk also is being left behind. Like you said, we don't follow
Yeah.
trend. I just needed to
Yes.
clarify it, but it's very, very
Yes.
true.
Yes.
We don't always follow. Even I think when crypto came, it's amazing how we were able to hop on crypto and just like massively get into that technology, because that's just like people don't believe Africans are quick on the take in certain aspects like that. So if we don't really create AI that's trustworthy, right, we risk falling behind. We risk becoming skeptical of new technologies, and if we're not careful, they might likely have to force us to be like, hey, use it, it's good for you. And if that situation comes up, that means they're forcing us to use technologies or solutions that weren't built for the African context, and doesn't really follow our values and way of life.
Mm. That's actually good one based on your explanation. And I think the word crypto that you also added the other time, I noticed that even with some companies in Nigeria that are basically building solution around crypto, there is still some policy that is actually affecting uh, the crypto implementation or the crypto company. Let me put it that way. So it's basically hard. Uh, to also mention that I hope like some policies that the government will also bring will not also affect any application that we are building on top AI or anything like that. I just hope so. So okay,
Can only
from your okay, continue. Don't let me cut to that. Continue.
no. I just said we can only hope. But one thing I've noticed is Nigeria is very pro AI, right? I think 2 months ago, if I'm not wrong, they worked on the Nigerian AI policy, right? I think they might even be working on it right at this moment. So it's obvious Nigerian is very pro adaptation of AI. Everybody knows this is the future and this is the way
Yeah.
forward. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. AI is actually even in my kids' school, right? You see them, you see my kid saying, "I want to ask ChatGPT something. I want to." I was like, "How do you know ChatGPT? How do you know this? How do you know that?" So I was just, but it's actually so. So my own understanding, right, is that if we implement it the right way, people will basically make use of it. People also want change, right? They don't want to
definitely.
be left behind. But if we don't implement it in the right way, in the right manner, that people will adopt it, then it's going to be a problem. Because I remember having a conversation with one of my friends back in the days, right? So there was someone that up to that particular moment he doesn't use internet banking because he doesn't believe in it. It was like internet banking, they can easily steal my money. They can easily. I was like, at this current state. So if we don't implement it and if we don't carry people along regarding what we're actually doing, there will be low adoption in it, I believe. That's true.
Yes, yes, I
So
completely
from
agree with
your
that.
Yeah. So from your experience, designing AI system, how do you think we can build trust in it? When you are, for example, building the JobaPay AI application, how do you think we can uh, integrate or build trust for people in it?
Okay, so what I would say is that the first rule is don't hide the logic, right? If a system is making a decision, users should be able to ask why, and
Okay.
the system is supposed to be able to reply, okay, this is why we are making certain decisions. And another thing is like the explanation to users should be done in plain language, not just technical jargon. Because when you're in the tech space, you tend to hear people using words that are not necessary, it just makes them sound intelligent, right? So recently I was having a conversation with a group of people, and the lady just mentioned is, hey, how can I connect with my tech guys? I feel like anytime they come, they bring different I just told him that, see, tell them to speak English. Just tell them to speak English, like talk like normal person. So yeah, that level of transparency immediately changes the tone of interaction. When people feel like I understand what is going on behind the system, they become more open, right? So another thing to do is always leave room for people. So even the best systems get things wrong, right? So
Mm,
users should be able
yeah.
to appeal. Users should be able to correct the system easily. Yeah, sometimes we all know how annoying it is when you are using maybe a website or a tool and you want to contact support, and it feels like the support keeps leading you to AI chatbot. Like personally, it's very, very annoying. So it's very important, like users should be able to appeal or correct the system very easily. So it's also critical to test for bias. AI is just basically the data that it was trained on, right? So
Yes.
even before launching products, test for bias. Does it work for the African context? Does it make sense for these people's emotional needs? Not just what is solving right away. So we need to know how the model performs across gender, across income levels, across regions. Like we need to know, is it unbiased in its decision? So another final thing I would say is just, I think I keep mentioning it again and again. It's important to design for context. Understand that we are designing for these people. Like if you're designing for
Yeah.
Nigerians in Africa, right, it's different from maybe you're designing for Singaporeans or other parts of the world. So context really, really matters. So what that means is, in our situation, for where we are right now, right, sometimes we deal with low data, like low bandwidth. A lot of us use mobile. Like we have a predominant mobile first behavior. We have local communication styles. These days, sometimes when I'm talking to my chat GPT and I say things like Omo and it replies me like so it's very funny, but those kind of things make the user, yeah, those kind of things make the user feel very, very seen. So I just think by showing up and making people understand that we want to understand you, we don't want to just build a machine, we want to understand what you need, right? So doing these things, from my experience, really makes adaptation and trust easy in the system.
Mm, yeah, that's true because you basically need to build for that context. Uh, you know your user. I think the last episode I did was around cross-border payment and the like. So the guest also talked about user because if you are building something, you basically need to understand the user that you are actually building that particular application for. So I think you've actually explained it uh, in a layman language, so that anybody that is actually building application around AI and you are targeting, let's say, not even Nigerian, right? You are targeting maybe Africa. You basically need to understand the context around the people that you're actually building the application for, which is actually one good thing. The next, it's not really a question, but I basically want you to explain the reason or the idea behind you building or you confounding JobaPay AI.
Okay, so the problem was actually a very personal one on, should I say, two sides. So the first side was on the part of, as a client that needs the services of a service provider. A lot of times we notice that in any location, if you want to get maybe a new plumber, maybe you just move in, you need to get artisans and the workmen, you have to like contact your neighbor. You have to come out, hey, please, this. And it's so annoying because not everybody wants to form that bond immediately, right? And also with urban migration, it's very clear that word to mouth, that kind of thing, is just not solving this problem very well. So we just decided, okay, why not do something about this? And the thing is, we are also interested in AI. We've been studying AI, getting interested in the trend, seeing what it's doing. So it's not
Yeah.
just beyond, oh, we're going to solve this problem and we're going to match service providers with homeowners. We also thought that, okay, it's important for us to gather data as we do so. So every match that is happening, we are gathering data, we are understanding the maybe workers' capacity, we are understanding, should I like, there are certain customers, latencies, their preferences. There are some customers that they prefer people to be efficient, right? They prefer cleaners that maybe finish on time. And
Yeah.
maybe we notice that for the past 5 jobs, this person always rates high when the cleaners finish on time. What does that tell our AI? It tells our AI is only recommend those that finish on time to this person because that's what they prefer.
Mm.
And for other people, just certain things like, oh, I prefer women to come around to clean the house for me, or I prefer people that are friendly. I don't want hostile faces in my space. So everybody has their own nuances, and using technology to solve it in that way, so far it has been very, very interesting. Like you said, we haven't launched yet, but we are trying to build, a system that is very, very intuitive and easy to use, and at the same time matches the right information, matches the right user with the right service provider.
Mm. Mm. Now I understand. Actually, there was, I think, a few months back, I was also working on something not really AI based, but it's something closer to artisan and client and services. We name it also Niger. Just so the essence of building that is basically uh, we realize that people want to do quick job like all these weekend job, minion jobs. Uh, just do it, go collect your
Yeah,
money and go. So we just started working on
yeah.
something like that. Also Niger, just basically weekend jobs. Just collect maybe 5,000. Just fix this thing for me. I go. Just earn your money and go. So few months back, but along the line, we are still stuck somewhere, but we are trying to figure that thing out actually. So it's actually a good business, but we are still skeptical about Nigeria as a whole, how people will actually react to that particular business. A lot of conversation around that anyway. But since you are already in the space,
But
it's just to learn from you and basically to understand how you're able
not
to solve
really.
that.
No, I think I'm still on my way to solve the problem. I've spoken to a couple of other people. I think this past month alone, I've spoken to two other builders in this space, right? The
Mm,
truth is the gig market is building, and showing like the information showing that the informal sector powers less like almost 60% of the
wow.
entire Nigeria's GDP. It just rings a bell that okay, there is a problem here. There are a lot
Yeah.
of people that are in this sector that they are not regularized. We don't really know them. We are not following the transaction, right? We don't know what is happening behind the scenes. So it is obviously a space that just like, fintech came and they were like, oh, they are solving for is banking for the unbanked, right? So maybe we need a gig market for the ungigged or something. Who knows, right? So it's a very problem. I feel like all of us, we are just trying our different ways, the way it's coming, our different inspiration, trying to solve the same problem. So
Mm, That's true. That's true. Uh, I have a question though. Is about I know a lot of things is going on with the current situation of Nigeria. I'm bringing it back home now with the current situation of Nigeria, and I believe there are a lot of policies, like you mentioned, that they are actually trying to incorporate into the system. I know uh, the government is putting a lot of things, uh, not only AI but tech related, right? Not only AI but tech related, because I've realized that some communities they've started doing like a summit here and there just to let people know about tech, let people be aware of what is even the tech self that we are even talking about, because you are using phone, you are using laptop, you are using internet and the likes. You don't even know what tech is all about. So I believe there are a lot of things that the government is actually doing regarding that. But how do you see the future of AI in Nigeria as a whole, as a case, Nigeria as a case study? How do you see the future of AI in Nigeria?
Uh, okay, so the future is bright. The future is bright. So, jokes aside, though, I think what's going to happen for AI, context is going to be defined a lot by context, not just the complexity. So it's not just a we can make AI that changes language. Oh, we can do this. Like it has to solve that problem in a way that the people that are already, within that system can appreciate and be like, hey, this actually makes our lives like it improves the quality of our life. So I just see the biggest impact happening in sectors where reliability directly improves quality of life. People want reliable systems. People want a system that we can trust 100%, right? So I think, you know, when people are talking about how AI is dangerous, how AI like is not really good for us or something like that, people miss the fact that AI is actually good when it comes to making clean decisions, unbiased
Mm,
decisions,
mm,
decisions that human, emotion or whatever will have, reduced the quality of the decision making in that space. So here reliability is very important, especially when it comes to the quality of life. So in spaces like the finance industry, places like the healthcare industry, education, agriculture, local services.
yeah,
So for example, um yeah, for example, like when we have fair credit models, right, it can unlock a lot of opportunities for small businesses because AI can understand certain credits decision making,
patterns.
like, oh, this one is good enough for the credit score, this one is not, because there is context in this case, there is information backing that, there is data backing that decision. So when it comes to healthcare, for instance, AI diagnostics can bridge the healthcare gap in rural areas, right? I can remember the first time I saw the machine for testing malaria. That small machine that they'll just do pop, like, or your just to check your um yeah. So it was new and it was like magic. I was like, oh wow, you can do this. So imagine a case where people start using these tools like AI diagnostic tools that just make lives easier and better, especially in rural areas, right? So another thing is personalized learning. I mentioned in education, AI
Yeah.
can empower teachers and students even with limited resources by creating personalized learning for them based on where they are at, not just based on what's good for everybody, right? So another thing is in agriculture, predictive AI can help farmers plan around weather, reduce
Weather
losses,
forecasting.
know what is
Yes.
going on with the crops. Exactly, forecasting it. So, in essence, what is going to happen in Nigeria's AI story or just African AI story as a whole is we won't just be catching up. At least that's the future that I really, really want to see. I don't want us to be catching up to solutions, right? I want a future, and I feel like we all want that same future where people are creating localized systems that solves real problems, like real community problems, real problems that we face every blessed day, that are just like, it suits us, it understand our own context. Yeah, so that's what I would say about that.
That's true. That's true. Thank you so much for that explanation. I know you're a mentor, uh, uh, and I know there are quite numbers of people that are actually looking to get into tech. Some are looking to get into web, some are looking to get into mobile, and some into AI. I don't know if you can actually mentor some of my people that are looking to get into tech. I don't know, maybe you're actually free for that. But I know, I don't know, maybe you have a mentorship program, something, but I know based on your profile, you are a mentor.
Okay, thank you, Awala, and thank you. That's That's appreciated. But yes, I do mentor people. Right now, we have a community of ladies, like it's called the Audacity Network. So what we are doing with the Audacity Network is we're just creating a way for women to feel So we are creating a way for women to feel confident about building their own personal brand, sharing their own story and showing up online, sharing their work, going after opportunities. So that's what that's about. But and this later this year with the Audacity, we plan on launching it's going to be like a course thing, especially for those that are trying to get into tech. But now this is
Oh,
the I don't know if it's a bias or anything because it's a women community. So our audience are obviously women, right? So we are going to take a select number of um, fields in tech. For instance, like there is front end, there's AI, there's UX, there's product management, different interests really. So we're just going to take a few of that and focus on that and try to train people in preparation of, maybe we'll start the training next year just to equip them with skills to earn in the tech space.
wow. Wow. You're actually doing a lot. And I think I saw that page on LinkedIn. I saw a couple of information there while I was going through your profile earlier on. Thank you so much. My final question or my final request will be what are the advice that you can give to young Africans that are looking to enter into the AI tech space and the likes?
Okay, so one thing I would say really is that it all depends on interest, right? Like many people in the tech space understand how confusing it is in the beginning because you're like, hey, should I stick to UX or should I go into this or should I like my own personal journey was that way. It's kind of went zigzag. So what I would say is that number one, understand your interests. So understand what you're interested in. Number two, get into a space where people there are trying to do what you're trying to do. What do I mean? Get a community. Community is
Yeah.
very important because when you're learning, when you're in the learning phase, it's not easy. It's not easy to do it on your own. Everybody, like many people that are trying to get into tech, it's not like you don't have your own job. You have your own 9 to 5. You're just trying to study. So if you're not with the right community, it might just seem like too much, right? So getting with the right community will really, really speed things up. So the last thing I would also say is get a mentor.
Mm,
Mentors are really, really important in a career, like in one's career journey. They just show you, they shorten your time. Let me say it because time, like situations where you waste a lot of time, make mistakes, learn, they just tell you that, see, this is what will happen or this is what I experienced, right? So number one, understand your interest. Number two, find the right community. Number three, get a mentor, get a guide that will just be with you along the way.
yeah, it's not easy to do it all alone. Especially you can there are some things that you can do all alone, but when it comes to tech, I think you actually need a mentor. Uh, Someone that will just hold your hand like this. Let's go. And should in
Exactly.
case you have problem, you face
Exactly.
issue, it's possible. There are possibility that they've
Yeah.
actually passed through that particular road before. So it's going to be easy to quickly resolve those particular issues for you along the line. This has been a such insightful conversation, Ebon. Thank you for shedding light on the trust and AI within the Africa context. Thank you so much for joining us today on Tech Niger FM. Should in case people want to basically reach out to you, I know you're on LinkedIn. I don't know, maybe you're also on other platform, but I know you're on LinkedIn, and I will love if you can also mention the other platforms that people can, because I believe LinkedIn is more or less like a professional, but there are some other people
Yeah.
watching us live now on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube that might also want to maybe have a conversation with you regarding the network that you created, I mean the page, that they might also be interested in joining the tech. So I don't know if there is other platform or if there are other platform that you can actually mention where they can actually find you.
Thank you so much. And once again, thanks for having me. So, like you said, I really think LinkedIn is just the best way to go. Really, LinkedIn is the best way to go because the only other platform that I think I have a presence on is Instagram, and it's not really professional in that way.
Mm,
Like it's not all about business. So I just feel the easiest way to contact me would be on LinkedIn, and also maybe my email, which is ebunarimoro@gmail.com.
okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you once again, Ebon, for joining
Thank
us
you.
on Tech Nigerian FM. And to everyone listening to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and the likes. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and uh, and follow us on other social media, where we are going to be talking about other conversation regarding technology. I'm Babatunde Esanju, and this is Tech Nigeria FM. In the next episode, we'll be talking about other aspects of tech. Up to then, keep building, keep innovating, and we see ourselves in a greater place. Thank you so much.